Thanks to Shut-Eye for sponsoring this video. Do you ever feel like the days just pass by and that you seem to get nothing done even though you're keeping busy? Do you just find that some of your days feel empty? Do you wish that you could do more to feel like at the end of the day you accomplished a lot and that your day was full? Well, today I want to discuss how to get the most out of your day. Based on research in psychology, my own personal experience, and analysis, I want to discuss a number of strategies that can help you feel like you got the most out of your day. My first tip is to identify what's bothering you or what's a barrier to you having a full and productive day. I sometimes have this negative, nagging feeling in the back of my mind that something's a little bit off, that something isn't right. And maybe it's a task that I've been procrastinating and I haven't gotten done, or maybe it's something that's going on in my personal life, like just some kind of unresolved worry about something. Just going through the day, kind of avoiding thoughts about that thing or not recognizing what it is that's bothering ends up leading me to be less productive, less focused, and ultimately I get less done. But if I take a second towards the beginning of the day to recognize what is it that's bothering me, I'm then able to refocus my attention on other things and get more done. In some cases, there might actually be something you can do about this nagging feeling. And so maybe it's taking those first steps, or maybe it's recognizing that that thought, that nagging feeling is either not totally accurate or it's not helpful. This whole principle is really closely tied to a lot of the principles you find in cognitive behavioral therapy, where you're actually addressing thoughts and not just letting them pass you by and dictate your behaviors. I think it's key to recognize when something's bothering you and recognize what thought you're telling yourself that's making you feel that way. A second tip for getting the most out of your day is making sure that you're getting good sleep. There's so much research to suggest that sleep is linked with mental health and cognitive function. And so the more good quality sleep we can get and the more regular we can get that sleep, the more likely we are to be successful and productive in our days. So I want to really briefly discuss the sponsor of this video, the Shut-Eye app. Shut-Eye is a helpful app that allows you to track your sleep so you can address problems in your sleeping patterns. And it also offers relaxing content like white noise or soothing sounds like rain, ocean waves, or the sound of a campfire. They also have meditations and even bedtime stories. There are also options to record sounds that might happen in the night, like snoring, talking in your sleep, or your animals. My experience in delivering therapy for people who are having trouble sleeping shows me that tracking your sleep is one of the best first steps you can take in actually improving your sleep. There's a lot of research that supports that idea. It's just so important to actually know what's happening in your sleep, and this app makes it easy and even fun. I've really enjoyed having the app. I've been using it lately and I found it's given me a lot of information about my sleep. So if you're interested also in trying it, be sure to check out the links in the description box below. But overall, my point is get good sleep. It'll make you more productive and ultimately probably happier. My third tip is to find a morning routine that energizes and inspires you. I've noticed that in the morning, if I listen to a really engaging, interesting podcast while I do a task like doing a little cleaning or going for a walk or a run, I end up feeling the sense of energy when I'm done and a sense of accomplishment already first thing in the morning. I found that this time in the morning ends up being really enjoyable. It becomes something I look forward to. It turns into kind of me time. And then I go into work or whatever I need to get done with a sense of accomplishment and new energy. My fourth tip is related, but it's to be productive in the first part of the day. Even if you aren't perfectly focused the rest of the day, at least you know you got something done. And quite often when I start to get to work, when I start to really focus, I end up having a more productive day. I think problems start to come in when the first part of my day, I start to do things that aren't as important or are kind of easy tasks that don't take a lot of effort or time, or I'm just not totally focused. Then the rest of the day, I feel guilty, I end up procrastinating more, and I don't get as much done. Whereas if I just say at the beginning of the workday, the first couple hours, I'm gonna be super focused, I end up feeling better about myself, and I ultimately end up getting more done. My fifth tip is to take earned breaks. Now, just because you're productive in the first part of the day doesn't mean you have to be entirely focused and never move from your desk for the entire day. I definitely think that taking thoughtful, intentional, earned breaks allows you to re-enter your work with more energy and focus. So be sure to include those in the structure of your day. My sixth tip is to do something creative every day. Even if you don't think of yourself as a creative person, there is creativity in all of us. We all have something to share and a unique perspective. And I think being creative, using our brain in a slightly different way, allows us to re-enter the things we have to get done with more energy and focus. Even if you don't have some great creative skill, maybe it's starting a new task or a new skill, or maybe it's just consuming something creative, like listening to really beautiful music. People talk about moving your body every day, but I think also doing something creative can keep your ideas fresh for whatever it is you do in life. My seventh tip is to keep your space decluttered. I definitely think that having stuff around, being overwhelmed by it, keeps us stressed out, and it can distract us, keep us away from the things we need to get done. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, take a look around. Does your space feel or look cluttered? Do something about it, and you might find you feel way better. My eighth tip is to plan something ahead of time in the evening to look forward to, and also something that will motivate you to get your work done, even if it's something really simple, like a movie night. Having something that's pulling you forward through the day, that's keeping you motivated to get things done, can be really helpful in making you feel accomplished by the end of the day. And then when you actually get to do that thing in the evening, it doesn't just feel like every day is passing you by. You're actually enjoying something that you've planned for and that you're excited about. Making the event also intentional, even if it's something simple, can make the everyday stuff feel really special. And I think that's important in feeling like we're getting the most out of life. And that brings me to my next point. My ninth tip is to take pleasure in the ordinary. I think it's so helpful to remember to stay mindful, to take little moments here or there to bring yourself back to the present moment and to savor what's ever happening. Sometimes even simple things can be really enjoyable, but we take them for granted because they become so customary. I think part of this can be related to what I just discussed about making the everyday ordinary things special, like having dinner be a set time where you sit down and have a conversation, put your phones away, and really enjoy the moment. Remembering to enjoy simple aspects of your life can keep life feeling full and interesting. I was recently watching a Doctor Who episode, yes, I'm a nerd, where the doctor mentions, how did boredom even get invented? And it's such a good point. There's so much in the world, so much information to learn about, so many books to read, so much media to consume, so many people to engage with and to interact with. It's kind of like, how do we ever get bored? It's simply a matter of taking the effort to enjoy ordinary things and to get interested and excited. And part of that is savoring simple things and really appreciating even the mundane. And how we do that is to bring our attention to it and focus on it. My 10th tip is to recognize that you don't have to have a perfect day to have a good day. And also, just because you had a bad day doesn't mean the next one will be. Even the whole concept of a good day or a bad day is so limiting. It gives this idea that if something bad happens, your whole day is ruined. But sometimes there are just good or bad parts. Somehow the societal construct of, hey, did you have a good day, implies that it's either good or it's bad, when really there's a gray space. And finding out how to turn your day around when you're starting down sort of a bad path can be really impactful. If something stressful happens, it doesn't mean you need to keep that with you for the rest of the day or into the next. And even if you do feel like you're kind of bummed out for the rest of the day, I do think a good night's sleep allows you to kind of reset. An old psychology supervisor once told me that she finds there's nothing like a good night's rest. If you've had a rough time that day, go to bed and you'll find often that your mood is reset the next morning. But also remember that you always have the opportunity to turn your day around and that no feeling is final. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you ended up enjoying it, hit the like button. You can subscribe below, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.